Imagine you have been planning Trinidad Carnival for months. The costume is paid in full. The fetes are on the calendar. Your airbrush makeup experience is reserved. You have been counting down the days. You land in Trinidad and the energy is everything you imagined. Every fete, every lime, every bit of doubles at the street corner. It's all good as everyone said it would be. And then Carnival Sunday arrives and your body says, absolutely not. That is exactly what happened to me. And I'm sharing it with you, not for the drama, though there is some drama, but because if I, who frequent Trinidad Carnival every single year, had this experience, then I am positive that there's a possibility that you can have the same experience. So you're welcome. Let's get into it. But first, lipstick. This is Carnival from the Face Candy Studio Beauty collection. Grab yours at the link below. So let me set the scene. The entire trip up to that point had been incredible. I felt good, I was hydrating, I was pacing myself, or at least I thought I was, and I was having an absolute time of my life. Carnival Sunday came and we were out. We were in the energy, everything felt fine, and then it wasn't. It started gradually the way these things always do, right? A little bit of nausea, nothing alarming at first. You know how it is. You've been eating differently, you've been out in the heat, you chalk it up to just a lot happening. I figured I'd go back to the room, take some Pepto-Bismol, get some rest, and wake up ready for Carnival Monday. That is not what happened. The nausea got worse, and then everything I tried to keep down, water, Pepto-Bismol, the IV fluid packets that I packed, none of it was staying down. Nothing. My body was rejecting everything. And I want you to understand what that feels like in that specific moment. It is the middle of the night before Carnival Monday, and your body is completely shutting down on you. Now, here's the part I generally don't fully remember because according to my friends, and they told me this later, I had started talking deliriously. Like I was saying things that didn't make sense. I wasn't fully tracking where I was or what was happening around me. I thought I was fine. I thought I was just tired and nauseous. I did not think I was that bad. But my friends, and listen, this is why you travel with good people. My friends took one look at me and said, we are going to the hospital right now. And I want to pause here for a second and say this directly to you. If you are traveling with friends who tell you you need medical attention immediately, listen to them and let them make the call. I was not in a position to accurately assess my own condition. I thought I could sleep it off. I was wrong. The people around you can sometimes see what you cannot, especially when you're that depleted. Trust them. So off to the hospital we went. Carnival Monday Eve, not exactly how I planned that night. Now here is where I want to give you something useful out of this experience. It's not just a story time. This is information you actually need before you get on that plane. Because what happened when I got to the hospital is something I was completely unprepared for, and you don't have to be. And actually, before I get to that hospital part, let me say this. The level of preparation that goes into a Carnival trip should match the level of preparation that goes into your health and your safety. You spend months sorting out your costume and your fetes. Your health plan should get the same energy. If you haven't started planning for Carnival yet, and you don't even know where to begin, I have a 12-month Carnival planning guide that walks you through everything you need to book and when from the beginning. Costumes, fetes, budgeting, packing, health prep, all of it. Because what happened to me on Carnival Sunday is not exclusive to you if this is your first time or second time going. Illness can take you at any time, so be prepared. Grab that guide at the link below. Okay, back to the hospital. So here is something that nobody tells you before your first trip to Trinidad. The hospital system operates very different from what you're used to at home. Trinidad has two tiers of healthcare, public hospitals and private hospitals. The main public hospital in Port of Spain is the Port of Spain General Hospital. It is a real functioning hospital, and it has been doing so since the 1800s. But I want to be honest with you. Public hospitals in Trinidad can have extremely long wait times, especially during Carnival season when the entire country is running at maximum capacity and emergency rooms are seeing more patients than usual. Caribbean health authorities actually report a spike in emergency room visits every single Carnival season. dehydration, heat exhaustion, alcohol-related complications. The ER is busy in a way you would not believe. So for someone like yourself who is visiting, the more practical option would be a private hospital. The one that comes up the most consistently for visitors in Port of Spain is St. Clair Medical Center. Is at 18 Elizabeth Street in the St. Clair area. And if you're staying anywhere near that main carnival activity zones, which you should because I talked about this in previous videos, it's relatively close. St. Clair is actually the oldest private hospital in Trinidad and the first to have a 24-hour accident and emergency department in the private sector. Woohoo! Their number is 868-628-1451. Write that down now. Put it in your phone before you go. Now, here is the part that caught me completely off guard. When you arrive at the private hospital in Trinidad, they are going to ask you for payment or proof of insurance before they admit you, not after, before. The U.S. State Department's own travel advisory for Trinidad says it plainly. Most care providers there only accept cash, and private hospitals often require payment up front or proof of good insurance before providing treatment. I want you to really hear that, because it is not what you experience at home, and it can be a shock when you're already scared and not feeling well. This is exactly why travel insurance is not optional for this trip. Your regular health insurance almost certainly does not cover you internationally, and medical evacuation, if something is serious enough that you need to be flown home, can cost tens of thousands of dollars without coverage. The insurance itself is often less than $100 for a week of travel. There is no version of this math where skipping it makes sense. And here's your action step right now. If you're planning a carnival trip and you do not have travel insurance sorted out yet, that needs to be the very next thing you do after this video. Grab a policy with emergency medical coverage, hospitalization, and medical evacuation. Screenshot the emergency contact number and save it on your phone, not in your email, in your phone. If you want help thinking through your full carnival planning timeline, and insurance is absolutely part of that conversation, I do Carnival Clarity consultations where we sit down and map out everything together, because this is exactly the kind of thing that falls through the cracks when you're excited about the costume and the feds and you haven't thought through the practical stuff. I've been there. I literally ended up in a hospital on Carnival Sunday. Let me help you avoid that. So here I am, hospital, Carnival Sunday night, rolling into Carnival Monday. My friends got me there, thank God. Now what? Here's the thing about being sick when you're in a foreign country. The physical aspect is just one part of it, because that alone is a lot. But the emotional part weighs heavy too. Just think about how you feel when you are sick with anything. You want to be in your home, in your bed, where you can just cuddle up under your blankets and ride out the sickness. But now, add being at Trinidad Carnival on top of that. Everything from missing the road to the thought of losing out on money. I know, not important in comparison, but it still ran through my mind and may run through yours too. I had planned this trip for months. I had my Monday wear ready. I had my Monday makeup airbrush appointment scheduled with my Face Candy Studio team because, let's be real, nobody does it better than them. And if you're going to Carnival and you want your makeup to last through hours of heat and humidity and dancing, not the hospital hopefully, you need airbrush. You can reserve your spot with my Face Candy Studio team at the link below. I had done everything I thought I was supposed to do, and somehow I still got sick. Lying there, I could hear the energy of the city outside and know what I was missing. And that feeling, that specific combination of being physically miserable and emotionally gutted was a lot. What I want to tell you is this. Your only job in that moment is to get better, not to figure out how to sneak out in time for the morning, not to minimize what's happening because you don't want to miss the parade. I had friends who would have tried to carry me to the road if I had let them, and I loved them for it. But the answer had to be no. Your body brought you to that point for a reason. Let the medical team do their work. By the time I was being treated, IV fluids, anti-nausea medication, the whole thing, I was already feeling more like myself. And somewhere in those hours, I made a decision that, all things considered, was the right one. Carnival Monday was not seeing me that year, and that was okay. I know that might be easy to say in hindsight, and honestly, it was not easy in the moment, but I want to close with something that I genuinely believe. Carnival is a full body experience. It asks everything of you. Your energy, your sleep, your hydration, your stamina for days in a row in unforgiving heat. And sometimes, even when you think you're doing everything right, your body has a different plan. That is not failure. That is not a sign that Carnival isn't for you. It is a sign that you needed more preparation and more grace for yourself than you gave. So here's what I want you to walk away with today. Number 1, before you travel, get your travel insurance. Number 2, pack a health kit, electrolytes, Pepto, ibuprofen, and any personal medications. I have an entire video on what you should pack for moments like this. You can find that in my Trinidad Carnival planning playlist. Number 3, travel with people who will make the hard call when you won't. And number 4, if you are in the planning stage of your Carnival trip right now, please don't wait until 6 weeks out to start figuring this out. I have a 12-month Carnival planning guide to help you stay on track. Download it, use it, and thank yourself later. And if you want someone to actually sit down with you and walk through your specific trip, your timeline, your budget, your questions, book a Carnival Clarity consultation with me. Trinidad Carnival is my thing. I have had the best time. I have also ended up in the hospital on Carnival Monday Eve. I know both sides of this experience, and I want to help you have the first kind. And finally, if your Carnival look is something you've been thinking about and you want makeup that is actually going to hold up through hours of heat, humidity, and the road march, reserve your Airbrush Carnival makeup experience with my Face Candy Studio team, because you deserve to look exactly how you've envisioned, and you deserve for that look to last. Oh, and you may be wondering, what about Carnival Tuesday? Well, as it turned out, I was well enough to be discharged from the hospital, but still not 100% better. So I actually ended up not going out on the road on Carnival Tuesday either. I know. Just thinking about it again makes me want to shed a tear. But yeah, I missed the entire road experience that year. Your story doesn't have to end like this. And let's do everything we can to make sure you don't have to start there. If this helped you, subscribe, like, and turn on your notifications, because I'm going to keep giving you the real version of what Carnival planning actually looks like, not just the highlights. I'll see you in the next one. As always, stay beautiful.